Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My name is Ali Iftikhar. Welcome to my YouTube channel. Canada has increased their PR fee. The inflation is too much here already, and because of that, because of the inflation, obviously they have to increase the low income cutoff as well, which means POF, proof of fund for express entry candidates, for the people who are applying for Canadian PR, they will have to suffer in terms of increment in proof of funds. So the logic behind is whatever amount you need in a year. For example, a family of four needs almost $50,000, $55,000 in a year to survive in Canada, to live, to pay their rent, to pay for the groceries, to pay for the commute, and these important essential things. A family needs $50,000 to $55,000, right? At least a family of four. So what they do is they take half of that amount from the lower income cutoff. They take half of the amount, and then they ask you to provide proof of funds of that amount, so that they know when you will enter Canada, you won't be relying completely on somebody else, or you won't be relying on the government for the first few months. You will at least have a few funds to raise your kids in the country, and to provide for yourself and for your family with the help of those funds, even if you don't find a job. Okay, so that's the logic behind proof of funds. Now, when I was applying in 2022 for the family of four, we paid it was somewhere around $24,300. Not paid, but kept the proof of fund, right? We kept these funds in our account. So one person, if you're applying as, if you're not married, because if you're married and you have kids, and even if you're applying alone, you still have to provide proof of funds for the whole family, like all your dependent kids. And if your wife has dependent kids of her own, then you need to provide proof of funds for them as well, because this is imperative. And when you will come to Canada, your kids will be living with you. So the family size is always on your spouse and on your kids. Okay, so this is proof of funds. Your parents, if you're single, and you have, obviously everybody has parents, but if you're single, they are not dependent on you, so you don't have to provide proof of funds for three family members. You will only have to provide proof of funds for yourself. So from 24,300, it increased to 27,300, almost, give or take, right? So there's an increment of $3,000, and to be honest, I would say that's how much the grocery price has increased, even more than that, because when first I came to Canada in 2022, the month's grocery bill would be around $800. Now it's around $1,000 at least. So maybe $2,400 per year have increased. So they're taking $1,200 of that, right? This is just a rough calculation, my personal calculation, personal rough calculations. Then similarly, my rent, for example, it increased by $220. $200. So it increased by $200, which is again $2,400 increment for a year, and half of that amount would be $1,200. So because the inflation rate has increased a lot, it was imperative that Canada will announce this increment in the proof of funds, and keep that in mind. Every year they do that. They ask you to update all of those who have not yet received an ITA. They ask you to update your express entry profile and update the proof of funds in that express entry profile. And even if you know that you're not going to get an ITA, if that amount is below the required proof of fund amount, then they're going to cancel your profile. So after your profile is cancelled and there is a sudden change in the circumstances and your profile was supposed to get picked but it won't because your profile is not anymore in the pool. So you need to update the profile with your proof of fund, and it is very crucial, and you have to do it before May 27th 2024. So almost 1 month is given to you. So please spread out this message, tell everybody to update their express entry profile if they have not yet received an ITA. It does not apply to the people who are Canadian experience class or people who are authorized to work in Canada and they have a valid job offer from a Canadian employer. So not only a job offer, but they're also authorized. So I mean, they have the work permit as well. So if this is not the case with you, then you will have to provide proof of funds. If you're federal high skilled worker, or if you're a provincial nominee, or if you're looking for a PNP, then your express entry profile needs to be updated. So this is an important update. And with these words, this is Ali Iftikhar, and I'm hoping great things are coming your way.